For those of you who didn't hear this, I was sitting at television watching the show, and I texted Vinny and said, Vinny, we have to get Daniel Joseph Baker. We have to have him. We have to have him at the conference. He has to be here on Sunday morning, and he has to talk to the students and the youth, and he has to play his piano. And Vinny said, I'll do it. And he did, and he's here. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Daniel. So nice to meet all you guys. I hope I can meet you guys all afterwards. But I just want to thank Trish and Vinny again for letting me come here. I'm so honored. I never thought I'd be doing these kind of things. And sidebar, I thought I'd say, anyone who watched America's Got Talent knows what happens when I get really nervous. I sweat a lot. And I'm just going to point it out. I'm sweating a lot right now. So I'm really nervous. Okay. But I just don't have Howie Mandel here to point it out. So I thought I'd point it out myself. Yeah, but anyway, I want to flash back to a year from now, a year ago, and I was a student at University of Houston, majoring in political science. Before all this craziness happened, my friend Amanda knows, and I just never felt like I belonged there. I found my one really good friend, Amanda, but I didn't have a lot of friends. I felt like I was just different. I felt like no one there really understood what I was going through, or, everything that I was feeling in my life. And America's Got Talent actually was the best experience of my life so far. When I first auditioned for it, I really just wanted to sing. I really just wanted to be on television. I never anticipated anything else. So it was really, really crazy to me when my first episode aired, when my second episode aired, that the majority of my Facebooks, my tweets, my emails that came my way were not talking about my singing, we're not talking about my piano playing, we're not talking about any of that. We're talking about how people connected with my story about being bullied. And I was like, really? I would think to myself, I was like, oh my gosh, these kids are emailing me saying I inspire them. And I'm like, I need inspiration right now. How am I inspiring other people? It's so crazy. And, I know on TV you guys see 5 minutes or 2 minutes of an interview, but these interviewers are crazy because you sit there for 45 minutes and they bombard you with questions, okay? And it's nonstop. And they just started asking me questions, and I just started answering honestly, what have you been through in your life? And I don't introduce myself as I'm Daniel Joseph Baker and hi, I was bullied. But I mean, if you ask me, it's something that happened to me. I was like, I don't feel like it defines me as a person, but I really just I answered their questions honestly, and when I saw it back on television, I was like, oh my gosh, I never thought that I would have all these people who connected with that story as much as they did, because I just really just wanted to sing, and just the fact that so many people felt my story really, made me stronger, because people come up to me all the time and say, Daniel, you talking about you being bullied and you talking about everything that you went through made me stronger. And I'm like, you don't understand. I tell them, you telling me that I made you stronger is making me stronger and making me want to talk about it more, because I felt like a freak coming from Katy, Texas, and having these cameras on me all at once and asking me all these questions. I was like, oh my gosh, why am I saying all this? Where's all this coming from? Why am I saying this on camera? Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. But it was totally the opposite. Everyone just really connected with it, and it just made me feel so much stronger. So I want to thank everyone who's ever been bullied, because we can be there for each other, and the more you talk about it, the more I talk about it, the more anyone else talks about it, the stronger we become, because we know we're not alone. And that's one of the worst things, is when you feel like you're alone in being bullied, as everyone who's been bullied knows. But yeah, so let's flash back to when I was first bullied. It actually, it starts when you're young. Before little kids, in second grade, they don't have the word gay yet. So I'm sure some of you noticed. It starts with, you act like a girl, you talk like a girl, you walk like a girl. And I'm like, really? I'm just, I would remember thinking to myself, I'm just talking and walking how I walk naturally. I'm not doing anything. I didn't watch Tyra then. I didn't know what runway walking was. But I'm just walking. I'm sorry that I'm naturally meant to be on a runway, but I mean, in the second grade. So it was really crazy to me. And then after that, as kids get older, I guess their vocabulary grows, and you see that the word gay gets jumped in there. and they start calling you gay. And at that age, I didn't know what gay was because, something about me that I like to talk about, I was actually raised in a conservative Mormon family. And so being gay, we didn't talk about it. So I had no idea what that was in 4th grade. So people were calling me gay, and I'd come home and I'd be like, Mom, people are calling me gay. And because we're in a Mormon family, I had wished back at that time it would have opened a dialogue, but instead it was just that you're not gay, tell them that you're not gay. That's all it was. Never ever told me what that was, anything. I had to learn from other people. So that was really crazy. And, during baseball, I was the kid called the angel in the outfield because I couldn't swing a bat, and they loved to call me that. And we always played kickball. And in the 4th grade, I guess kickball is really, really serious because I sucked at it. And they always told me, can you get out, because they separated boys and girls, and they always told me, can you get off our team and go play with the girls? I was like, sure, I'll go play with the girls. I'm not trying to be a kickball, star my whole life, and I know a lot of you have gone through that too. Like, why is kickball that serious in the 4th grade? I don't know, but it was really, really serious. So I just told them, sure, I'll go play with the girls, and we talked about hair and fashion, and we talked about, the last episode of the Powerpuff Girls, and, that's what I wanted to do. So, that's what I did, and it was actually that same year in the 4th grade where, I started feeling really outcasted at that time. I just, felt like I didn't belong. And I had my couple close friends, but I still, just when I went to school, it wasn't a place that I felt comfortable. And I actually had this amazing music teacher named Mrs. Wofford, Mrs. Lois Wofford. And it was amazing because in the 4th grade, they were actually putting on The Lion King at my school. And my mother, told me, go audition. They were having auditions for the role of young Simba. Like anyone, I guess, under 5th grade could audition for that role. And she was so nice. I went on audition, and I didn't think I was very good, but she gave me that lead role in the play in 4th grade. And I remember how much that meant to me just to feel included. Now when I went to school, I didn't feel like I had something. I was rehearsing. I was in singing. I was the star of the play. It made me feel so good. And I just wish that more teachers would do that, just to include the child in any way you can. A play, bringing them up to the board, talking to them, reading them, because you know what kids are not included. You can tell which kids are outcasts. And I was one of those kids, and it just meant so much to me that she wanted to include me. And, let me see. Yeah, but something else that helped me were my parents, and I talked about them a lot on the show. We never talked about what gay was, and even still to this day, that's an awkward subject between me and my parents. I'll address that now because that's a #1 question that I get asked. How are your parents with how fierce you are, which is a code word for gay, and so I know that, and so I have a sister named Jennifer, and everyone has that crazy sister. And my sister Jennifer is that crazy sister. So me and my parents, we kind of just float by the subject of, being gay. I go to gay clubs, I go to gay pride, and it's like, how were you at that festival? Did you have fun with your friend Amanda at the club last night? It's skirted over. And luckily I have my crazy sister Jennifer who says, oh my gosh, Mom and Dad, Dan is going to that gay conference this weekend. Just to force it in there. And, I think my parents just need more time. And I think through this experience of me being on the show has actually helped them become more comfortable with how fierce I am. And I just think, everyone needs their time. So I would just say to anyone out there, feels like their parents still don't accept them, just give it time. Every parent has their time, and I think now is my parents' time, and I just see them accepting me more and more each day, and I think it will be something we can talk about in a few years, just not yet, they're not there yet. But yeah, they really helped me through my bullying, though. They were really strong advocates for me, because I would come home every day crying and being afraid to go back to school, and I would tell them I was being bullied. So my parents took the bulls by the horn, and they met with principals, they met with superintendents, they met with teachers, and they met with parents. And at the time, I just thought that was what parents are supposed to do. But looking back, I just feel like I was so lucky to have parents that would take that time out of their work schedules to go meet with teachers, go meet with principals, go meet with other parents and say, stop bullying my child. You know, I feel like every parent should do that. If you know your child is being bullied, you take the bull by the horns, because I knew at that age I didn't feel powerful enough to do anything about it. And I needed those adults to step in, my parents, to go to those teachers and say on my behalf, you better stop bullying my child, or there's gonna be a problem. So yeah, I really, that really helped me, and I really think that every parent needs to do that. And I know my parents would tell me later on, like, what their other parents would say in those meetings. My parents would be like, you know, your child is bullying my child and needs to stop now. And they would say, you know what, it's part of growing up. Daniel just needs to tell him, he's way too sensitive. He's way too sensitive. And I'm so thankful I had my dad who stuck up on my behalf and said, my child is not too sensitive. Your child is rude, and your child needs to stop. Okay? He's crazy, and I love it, yeah. Thank you, Dad. So it made me feel so powerful to, you know, because I think one of the biggest things that goes along with bullying is the shame that you feel, because you don't want to tell anyone, because it's an embarrassing factor in your life. And I'll say another experience that I went through. This happened in like maybe the 8th or 9th grade. And in 8th or 9th grade, we took the school bus to school. And as everyone knows, the back of the bus, I guess, is where the cool kids sit. I never sat there because I wasn't cool enough. But one day, me and my friends, we got on the bus, and they stopped at our stop, and we wanted to go sit in the back of the bus. And the cool kids were back there. It was this cool group of boys. And we asked them, could we go sit on the back of the bus? And the bus driver's right there. And one of the ringleader, I guess, says, you guys can come sit at the back of the bus as long as that faggot doesn't come with you, and points to me. And the bus driver's sitting right there, and not only did it hurt that he said those words to me, but it was worse because it was in front of the whole bus, because it was in front of the bus driver. And it actually made me not even want to say anything, because my friends were so embarrassed too. They didn't say anything. I didn't say anything because I was so embarrassed. I just wanted to go away. And so I just sat at the front of the bus that day. My friends went to the back, and I sat there alone on the way home. And I feel like that's a testament to that. Anyone who can speak up needs to speak up. Whether you're the person's friend, you need to speak up on their behalf. And you need to, if you're the bus driver teacher who never said anything, you need to speak up too. Because the person in that position, you just want it to go away. You don't want to talk about it because you're embarrassed, because you feel like it's your fault. Because why are you the one person being bullied? It must be your fault because no one else is getting bullied, you know? So I really just think it's important that everyone just speak up when they can. And I just think that would be a really good thing. And let me see. I'm gonna sing later. So I was on America's Got Talent, and like I said before, and I talked about on that time how when you get beaten down so much, you really feel like your life isn't worth living. You just feel like a freak, and you feel like, what's the point of continuing my life if this is the path that I'm gonna have? And it wasn't even up until a year ago that I honestly realized how bullying, the older you get, the more effect it can have on you. And you see those effects in your daily life. And, you know, I was going through all these experiences of the positivity that people were telling me on the show, you know, you're a star, you're this, you're that. And every time they said that to me, if you go back and you see my reaction, I was so shocked because I didn't believe it. I was like, why are they saying these things to me? Because through years of bullying, I believed that I was absolutely worthless, that my life wasn't worth living, my life wasn't worth going on. And I really didn't understand why they were telling me these positive things. And it really took that experience for me to realize, like, wow, was 20 years old, I'm 20 years old, and bullying is still affecting me now. It's taken a lot for me through the experience of the show, through my friends and family, to finally realize, you know what? I am worth something. I can move forward, and you know what, that doesn't have to ruin my life. What happened in my past no longer has to ruin my life, and I feel like everyone really just has to make that choice. You can go through therapy, you can talk to your friends as much as you want, but I feel like your happiness at the end of the day is gonna be your choice. So you're gonna have to get to your own age and realize, I wanna be happy. These things happened to me, it affected me a lot, but it's not gonna ruin my life now, and I'm gonna be happy regardless of what that person said to me on the bus, because I know who I am, I know what I am, and it doesn't matter regardless. And I would also say that, you know, to anyone who's been bullied, you should tell them to FF you. And don't worry, teachers, that's an abbreviation. That's an abbreviation for being fierce, being flawless, and being unafraid. And that's one of my catchphrases. It's on my shirt. I'll show you guys right now. You know, you just want to be fierce as you want to be. Don't let anyone make you think that you have flaws, because you are flawless. And then be unafraid to be yourself. Like, that's what I feel like, and that's the motto I live my life by. And I would tell all the students, all the kids out there, to live your life by that same thing, because at the end of the day, your bully, something is wrong with them. That's why they're bullying you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're absolutely flawless. You're fierce, and now you can be unafraid. And you can just tell them to go F you, because Daniel Joseph Baker told you so, okay? So, so I wanted to end with, singing a song, and it's called The Edge of Glory. And it's by Lady Gaga, and I think she actually framed it the best when she performed it on the piano one time, so I'm going to kind of model after that. She said, if you're on the edge of glory, you're never there alone, because you always have someone, you have a room full of people, you have everyone there for you, so just know that you're never alone. So, okay? So thank you guys so much. I'm going to sing now.